Beautiful concept. And for years, we just sent Bitcoins flying around back and forth to each other. Bitcoin's a single asset, single chain system. You could only move Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. There have been some innovations today to try and build upon that, but it's not, you really can't build applications on top of Bitcoin. Look, let's say we wanted to use this shared decentralized agreement machine for applications.
Which is kind of what Bitcoin is, right? It's this network, essentially.
Bitcoin's the network, but it's difficult to build on top of. It also is entirely public, right? So, you could spin up a Bitcoin mine in China, Antarctica, New York City, right? It's lawless.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, traditional finance problems that this doesn't fit for.
Sure.
Right, in many ways.
Yes, we don't want everything public. We may want a record and consensus, but maybe not public.
Exactly. So now if we fast forward really kind of even through Ethereum, which, innovated smart contract tooling, I kind of compare that to, we had the internet, before AOL and, it got mainstream before Windows 95, right?
Yep, I remember those days.
And it wasn't commonly used, but then we had, the internet and AOL. And Netscape Navigator.
Yeah,
right?
Remember Netscape. Sure.
Like, this is how you get online, right? So, we have Ethereum now. It's like they have smart contracts and they're giving us some tooling like, you got mail and instant messaging and, some tooling inside that we can use on the blockchain. But, the Ethereum blockchain is also, it started out as a proof of work chain, but it's also a single chain trying to manage all these assets on it. So you kind of have a throughput problem. It's also public. You still have that problem. We've come a long way since then now for application chains. And the landscape is getting very interesting. So there's a lot of, if you went on Coinbase, you could scroll through a number of tokens, a number of coins that are out there.
It's quite a few now. I mean, it's what?
Hundreds, thousands of,
over 10,000, I think, last time I checked.
How is anyone supposed to know, what's what?
True. Yeah, so many.
Right, because, they're releasing white papers, they're describing their consensus protocols, their tokenomics. I mean, there's so much that could be involved in this. And I said, look, the advisor community that I've worked with my whole life, advising advisors, I think there's an opportunity, one, to just give the correct education to the community, because I understand what it's like being an advisor. I understand what it's like for advisors to have to be the reliable person that, an entire community might be looking to for advice. And in a world today where investment opportunities and returns, I guess, are, we could say, scarce.
Right. You're having to work hard for it.
You have to work hard for them. There's a lot of potential growth in this industry, but not enough education.
And that's interesting, right? Because I don't, when I've tried to look at blockchain myself, and I haven't been in the cryptocurrency environment, though a number of other advisors have been. And again, I don't want to limit it to the currencies itself, but I do think it's hard to figure out where do you go to really learn about blockchain, its other applications, and how it can change people's lives, how it can make things much more efficient and effective for the advisor. And so that's where you're coming in right now.
Yeah. And look, I got my start in equities. I did municipal bonds. I did, multi-asset class management. I've worked with alternatives. There's a wide universe of investable universe already. Right. So the advisor community is always, relying on maybe their equity guy or their fixed income guy or their, however they run their practice. There's a lot of hats that they have to wear.
That's right. And it's very hard to be good at all these things.
At all things, right? So for me personally, I see an incredible opportunity in blockchain. So I wanted to commit to that. And that's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna raise a fund and bring this to the investment community and say, look, we have the Bitcoin ETF, we have the Ethereum ETF. What do we do next?
Sure.
And I think people are looking for good answers. They're looking for an education on the topic to be able to speak about it properly, and then through that find the appropriate investment opportunities. We think that is now in the application space for blockchain.